Hello and welcome to the first schools pupil mental health based live broadcast. So I'm going to be doing these every single Thursday at 5:30. I'm super excited to be sharing things and really supporting all the schools around the UK, really get the most out of everything they're doing and really support the pupils, just increase all the academic understanding and stop mental health being such a barrier. Okay, so what we're going to cover is 3 really cool fun things you can do in class for just 5 minutes a day, which is going to enable you to increase pupil focus, concentration and memory. Okay, so who am I? So I am Katie Woodland. I'm the owner of Woodland Psychological Services Limited, which is a mental health service up in Telford in Shropshire. I'm a developmental psychologist, a complementary therapist and a wellness advocate, and I specialise in all things mental health. Okay, so after that really quick introduction, we're going to move very swiftly on to the 3 fun things I've got for you today. So the first one is called the sequencing game. Okay, so now this is a really fun thing you can do with kids of all ages. So none of these are for just young children. They actually work across the spectrum of ages and can be used in whatever subject. So all of these are so easy to use regardless of the child's ability, regardless of age, regardless of subject matter. Okay, so the sequencing game, this is basically going to enable children to increase their working memory and their IQ. So usually we can remember about 4 things in our working memory at a time. But a study found that children after a 2-month period of doing 10 minutes of a day of the sequencing game, their working memory capacity went up to 8 items. And the higher your working memory, the higher IQ. So just by doing this for 10 minutes a day, they actually increase their ability to remember things and increase their IQ. Now, this is true for all children and obviously all adults. So, this kind of game you probably played as a child. It's something I used to do in the car with my family. And back then it was, we were doing the shopping list. So you'd say, I went to the supermarket and I bought apples. And then the next person may say, I went to the supermarket, I bought apples and a banana. And then you have to remember apples, banana and oranges. And you keep going round until somebody completely forgets what's going on. Now, you can do this with any subject. So you might need to get kids to remember all the countries in Europe. You might need to get children to remember, historical places or, anything. Now, if you've got children who are really struggling to remember words, what you can do is associate the words with an image. So, if you're thinking about countries, you may think about France and get them to imagine the Eiffel Tower or, America and you've got the Statue of Liberty. And in the beginning, every time you say the word and the name, you then present the picture so that they get an association between the word and the picture. And after a while, every time they hear the word America, they will think of the Statue of Liberty, and every time they see the Statue of Liberty they're going to think of America. So it's a really cool way to use both visual imagery and words to kind of really embed a bit of learning. And it's a really good way for you to remember things on your shopping list. So if you've got to remember things, grab them after work, you may be thinking, I need to remember milk, cheese, eggs, bananas. So as you're saying the list to yourself, imagine those items and you're more likely to remember all of them rather than forgetting home and realising you've forgotten the milk and you can't have a cup of tea. Okay, so that's that one. The next one is crosswords. Okay, so please don't groan, roll your eyes or anything like that. Crosswords are a great way of really embedding learning into your child's memory. So everybody loves puzzles and kids especially love puzzles. Now, There has been some conflicting research. So lots of people are trying to say that crosswords increased memory and reduced Alzheimer's. There's actually not enough research to prove that is the case, whether it's just anecdotal at the minute. There is no research that says that. However, crosswords can help you retain extra bits of information. So if you are going over any old ground, if you're revisiting any subject again, then you're more likely to remember it. So while crosswords may not increase somebody's memory because of the crossword, you can actually remember more things because you're talking about a specific subject. So again, you can make crosswords about anything, and because I love cheating and making everybody's lives easier, there is a fantastic free website where you can create crosswords about anything, and I've just added the link in the comments, so absolutely go ahead and grab it. So play along as you're watching this, okay, and just for a little bit of fun. So you could, if you're doing plants, you could say things like this. So you might say, what flower has yellow petals, is commonly associated with Mother's Day and usually seen around Easter time? Okay, so that's the daffodil. There's another one, so you could ask, where do apples come from? And obviously it's a tree, but there was a survey done and lots of children thought that very strange items grow in the ground. One child thought that fish fingers were made of chickens. So these are quite, pertinent questions. So, another one might be, what is said to be a rabbit's favourite food? And obviously it's a carrot. And then what is round, brown and grows in the ground? And then that's a potato, obviously. So you can see how easy it is to come up with questions around a subject. Now, obviously, you're going to be doing ones which are curriculum relevant. I absolutely understand. But it can be done with any subject. You could use it when you're learning the planets or the periodic table or names of kings and queens, like anything that you're trying to really, really embed learning. It's just a fun way to do like a 5-minute refresh a couple of days later, just to see how much they've learned. And it's a really good thing to use for exam prep. What you don't want to be doing is reading and reading and reading and reading huge amounts of information because your brain just doesn't take it in. So, puzzles and crosswords every so often will really just help, refresh your brain and bring back memories and just really make it a fun way to do it. Okay, so the third one I'm going to show you is another sequencing one, but it's called like missing items. So basically, you just think of a sequence of something. So it's really easy for me to show this if I'm talking about numbers. So you're basically making sure that kids are paying attention to what you're saying. So you may say something like, okay, well, I'm going to say a sequence of numbers and you need to let me know which one's missing. And again, absolutely play along in the comments box. So if I said 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22 and 24. And obviously the missing numbers are 18 and 23. Okay, so I could say follow along the sequence and there's some missing numbers, and so I say 11, 22, 33, 44, 66, 77, 99. And then obviously the missing numbers in that sequence are 55 and 88. Okay, now anything that you can put into a sequence, you can use that sequence game with it. So it just really makes children pay attention. Okay, it really checks to see how much they've learned, how much they've missed, because obviously this is a game that you're actually really interacting with them, whereas the crossword puzzles, they're going to be doing that by themselves. And then the other sequence game, you might be doing that as a whole class, or you might be doing it in smaller groups. So now I've actually got a bonus for you. So I've got a fourth thing. Well, it's kind of a fourth thing, but it's not really a fun thing, this one. This is just a bonus. So this is deep breathing and meditation. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because when our brains are full of stuff, it's very difficult to focus and concentrate and learn anything new. So what you want to do is you want to be able to make sure that your brain's clear before you're retaining new information. So schools often chop and change from subject to subject, you know, because you have to. But often our brains don't get the opportunity to kind of catch up with what's going on. So a really good thing to do is literally do 5 minutes worth of deep breathing or meditation in between each subject change, and that will enable your brain to just kind of chill out, relax, calm down, and refocus, and then you can go at whatever the new subject is again. Now, it can be really difficult to learn how to meditate. So there's a really cool website, and it's free to use again, and you can literally follow along. So you just stick it up on the screen, and I'll place the link in the comments box for you. So you literally stick it up on the screen, click play, and everybody in the class breathes in and out along with the deep breathing timer. So deep breathing meditation has been shown to be fantastic for children and adults who are struggling with attention difficulties and those with mental ill health. They've actually found that in schools, it has helped to increase attention and academic attainment, and it reduces behavioural difficulties. So it is such a good tool that is just so easy to do, and is really, really being rolled out in a lot of schools, and lots of people are paying lots of money to have people come in and show them how to do this. But you know, this is so simple. You just stick it on the screen and get everybody to do it along with you. So you don't need to do anything fancy. Literally hit play and get everybody to do it. Now, I have just shared 4 great things that you can do to help your pupils increase focus, attention and memory without you needing to do hours and hours and hours and hours of extra prep work, because I know you teachers are super busy and already have a million different things to do. Now, the reason these work is because they're going to be forcing kids to pay attention, and the longer you have focused attention, the better your concentration becomes. Now, the better your concentration, the more you're able to digest information, and therefore the higher your IQ and the higher your level of competence. So it really does all start with focus and attention. If you can't focus on something for a long period of time, you'll never be able to learn the information that you're being fed. If you've enjoyed what you've learned and your school is looking to reduce the effects of pupil mental ill health and behavioural difficulties on academic achievement, I'd really love to talk to you about some of the work we do across the UK. Now, you can book yourself in for a free, no obligation conversation using the link which I will post in the comments box, or you can just click send us a message on the Facebook page and you'll be able to book through that. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to enjoy working with some of these tools in your classroom. And please, 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 if you're watching this after the live video, feel free to post comments and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I look forward to catching up with you next Thursday when I share some more easy, fun tips that you can do to increase academic achievement and reduce the effects of mental ill health and behavioural difficulties in the classroom.